All right, welcome back. I'm Tommy. This is Ronin Media. This is a channel where we talk about filmmaking for the people who love the art of filmmaking. And today, we're going to be talking about something I like to play with called flags. That's right, we're going to be talking about flags. These are the flags that we are going to be waving. And there are many different types of flags out there. There's the cheap DIY type flags, like this piece of mat board, foam core. Anything rigid that really blocks light can work good as a flag. You got this 4-in-1 reflector panel that also has a black flag on the back. Great for using in C-stands and other situations like that. You also have your floppies. So what is a floppy? Well, this is a TPR worldwide. What is it, 24 by 36? Well, with a floppy, it can now come out to basically double its overall 24-inch access. There's also, behind me, didn't bring it out, the Matthews 40 by 40, which has a different hinging mechanism. So instead of hinging from here, it hinges from here. With the 40 by 40, it's square, so it really doesn't matter. The benefit of that is now you have an 80 by 40 inch flag. So what are some of the basic ways that we can use flags? If you're not used to using flags, the most basic way and the most basic thing to do is to flag off light from spilling. As you can tell, I'm wearing a red shirt with a blue background. I'm getting a little bit of spill from this light right here. I'm also getting no spill from the background because of this flag. This flag right here, if I was to turn it away out of the area, you could see that I'm getting some blue spill right here because the light itself is throwing the beam wide and forward. So we would use the flag basically to shape light. So say I wanted to take this light and kind of have this almost gradiated background. So now the background over here is white, this side is blue, and then we can just move it to exactly where we need it. Now imagine using this in a setup where you have a character and you got a key light up here, throwing light in this way, but you really want to keep the background dark. As you'll see, I'll cut in some B-roll to previous videos I've done. Off to the side up here in other videos, there is a large painting or actually it's a photo, that has a very reflective glass surface on it. So when I don't flag off the light, you can see it right above my head. When I do, it kind of blends in to the background, and it also helps control light spill from there. Like I said, with the floppies, this one's a 18 by 24. The more length I have, the more I can control lower light spill, which in this case isn't going to be a big deal, but in other cases you may want to. You can also do something like this, where we take the flag and we can prevent it from spilling upwards. So if you, for some reason, you were shooting a wider shot, light was off, but you're going to get a little bit more of the roof, this light here would only be targeted to the area where it's at. The other thing that you can do with floppies and flags is you can create negative fill. So what is a negative fill? A negative fill is a way to create shadows pulling away from light. It's going to be hard to recreate in this particular instance because of the lighting setup I'm using just to do it in this little shop area that we're working in. But basically what it would be is you have your key light, you don't have a fill light, but you take a mat board or a flag. Let's use this flag, it may be better than the mat board in this case. And you get it close enough to the talent that it would create a shadow. You can see it a little bit here, but it's kind of hard with the camera angle and we're not really set up to do it. But you can tell that there's a little bit of more intense shadow, and the closer you get, the more it's going to be pronounced. So that's one other use for flags, to flag light from coming in the room. So you can't see it here, but upstairs I have a really bright light source coming in, and it kind of bounces light all throughout the room. If I would have thought about it before, I can take one of these flags, especially one of these floppies that opens up bigger, stick it up in front of the light, the window itself, and flag it off so we don't get stray light that we have no control over. So flags are perfect tools for controlling how the light reaches not only your subject, but your background. So you can go with different types of flags that are pre-manufactured. And flags, I have to say, in terms of grip gear, are probably some of the more cheaper things depending on where you get it. I got these TRP worldwide flags from B&H. Great place to go do your flag shopping. Now, the Matthews stuff, Matthews is the best in the business, and they're always going to be a little bit more expensive. But these TRP, I always say that backwards, TRP flags, I think I spent less than $50 for this flag and less than $80 for this flag, both of which are floppies. So as I showed you earlier, the floppies will come out and you'll get basically double the size of your flag. In terms of like diffusion or a bounce board, like one of these 5-in-1 or 4-in-1s, they're easily upwards of 100 plus. So if you want to buy flags, they are fairly cheap for our film world gear. If you want to use foam core, I would recommend against this particular type of foam core because it is a reflective surface. You do want something that's more matte. This was an old one I used a long time ago. It's good for cutting. It's good for doing this, for recreating what this flag was doing. It's not nearly as good for, say, a negative fill because you will get bounce off of it. Blackout curtains at Walmart for under 20 bucks, and I think they're 8 foot tall with both of them strapped together. They're about 8 feet wide. So you have a lot of options out there. And don't forget, you can also use black wrap. I don't have any on me. I'm waiting for some to come in from Amazon, which is another way to flag off practical lights. You can get solid floppies for under 40, depending on where you're looking. Impact, Cowboy Studio, all these little Amazon brands have flags. As long as you cannot see through the flag, in the brightest of light, you can't see any light leakage, they're gonna do the job. So you guys, I think we're gonna talk about these GVM light stands next week, or we may start talking about the process I'm using to finalize everything before the shoot for Nightmare Phantom, which is in about 2.5 weeks. We're getting close. It's going to be 5 straight days of filming, and we're going to try to get as much background footage on that. So you guys, if you have any questions about flags, if I missed stuff that's glaring and obvious, please do me a favor, leave a comment, check the like button, do all of that. Really want to get back to the table. I feel really awkward talking in the little setup shop area of my place. And yes, there are 2 Navy flags behind me. Not intentional, just what's there. So as you guys know, please like, subscribe, comment, share this off. Let's get us to that 1,000 that we're hoping to do by the middle of the year. Still got a long way to go, but with your help, we'll get there. And as always, get out there and shoot. Don't worry about the best gear on the market. Worry about the gear that works for you. Have a good one.